Today I thought I'd review this pen. This pen was sent to me as part of a whole batch by Kalle, a couple of inexpensive pens that he'd like me to review because he likes them. And this is a Chinese pen by the brand Hero. I have reviewed quite a couple of Heroes. The 616 comes to mind, which is a Parker 51 model. And what happened is that it was a Parker factory that made these pens in Shanghai, taken over by the Chinese, and now they make pretty much Parker 51s under the brand name Hero. This is a small one. Call it a Parker 51 Demi model. I think that is a little bit bigger than this, but it's kind of that size. And it has some interesting features going for it. I'm going to cover the parts of the pen, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then do a writing sample. At the top of the cap is nothing, the finial is nothing, but it does have a spring-loaded clip. Very fascinating for a pen at this price point. On the clip it says Hero. You can probably also see that the clip doesn't really seem to be aligned extremely well, but you can push it in and, you know, to the left, to the right a little bit. It has some characters there which I don't know what they mean. It could be made in China, it could be Hero, but it's 4 characters, so I can't imagine it's just Hero. It says 366 and made in China. A chrome colored metal cap and then a plastic barrel. The cap slides off, and as you can see it's definitely a 51 type model. The cap posts very securely and also quite deeply, making for a decently but fairly small sized pen. The section, well, it's a 51 type section, hooded nib, has a very small ink window there, very small transparent bit, and then some ribs there, which I assume are there to keep the cap in place. But yeah, I guess so. In any case, well, on the other hand, that clutch mechanism clasps it a little bit higher up, I think. Doesn't really matter. You have that, you don't really feel it as you write. I can just use this unposted, but it shouldn't be any smaller. The barrel unscrews and then you get this very, I found it pretty cool. It's not just a sack, because the sack only starts there. It's more like a bulb filler with a rubber sack and then a plastic barrel there. Holds a decent amount of ink, and it's all transparent, so you can very easily see how much ink you have left. Alright, so what did I think of the pen? Well, it has some cool features going for it. Again, spring-loaded clip, that's very cool. I really like that in a pen at this price point. Makes it very easy to clip it onto something and take it out again. I like the fact that it posts so securely. That's really nice. The Parker 51 model, I know people are ballistic about the model. It doesn't do that much for me. I know it's a classic. To me personally, it doesn't do that much. But it's a classic, and this is definitely an interesting incarnation of it, so to speak. The hooded nib, I'm also not a fan of hooded nibs, but it's a hooded nib. It's like the 51 nib would look. Okay, so that's cool, and I really like this filling system. Yes, it's simple, but it's also easier to use than just a sack. It really draws up a good amount of ink. Very nice. What did I not like about the pen? Well, I'm not going to, well, I guess I am going to say it feels a little cheap, but then these pens are on the cheap end of the spectrum, even for Chinese pens, I would say. My biggest issue with it was that I had a fairly, well, distressing writing experience. The pen ran dry a lot, to the point where it would just stop writing, and it was very scratchy. I have used these hooded nibs before. The Hero 616 nibs are not the smoothest in the world, but usually they work. This one is really scratchy. It could be that I just got a bad one. We know there are some quality control issues with Chinese pens. Often that's what you find. There is some variation in the quality between the models, the same models of one brand. But even so, I found this one to not be particularly nice to use. So if you would get this, and they all write like this, which might be the case, expect to have to smooth this with some micro mesh or something. Then again, you are getting a very inexpensive pen. I'm not saying that's an excuse. What I am saying is, you may think, alright, I'll just invest the, 15 minutes of effort to make it smoother. Having said all of that, very interesting pen. Kalle, thanks for sending me this. I had never even heard of this small 616 model. I know the 616, I know the 616 Jumbo, aka Doctor. I'd never seen the smaller Hero 51 type pen. It's interesting to try it out. I'm going to give you a couple of measurements and then we'll do a writing sample. The pen weighs 8 grams. It's very light, a lot of plastic. It's 122.3 millimeters capped, 103.8 millimeters uncapped, 129.1 millimeters posted. Section diameter ranges from 7 to 9.6 millimeters, and the barrel ranges from 7.6 to 10.5 millimeters. Okay, let's make this baby write, see what she does on the paper, and then I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye. Alright, so here we go with the Hero 360. The nib is fine and the ink is Pelikan 4001 Royal Blue. It hardly fits, but believe me, it's royal blue. Let's do some writing. Writing is pretty scratchy and fairly dry. It does run now, but when I just uncapped it I really had to fiddle around with it to make it right again. If we do fast writing, you see quite a couple of skips where it just does not write. So I don't think this feed keeps up terrifically well with very fast writing. As to wetness, this is a drier ink, but as you can see the pen pretty much runs dry like this, so it's definitely an extremely dry nib that I would tune before using on a longer basis. Okay, line variation, you can squeeze out a little bit, but with such a semi-hooded nib design there isn't really a lot to be gained. And finally, let's have a look at reverse writing. It's also very scratchy and, as you can see, almost illegible. So, Kalle, thank you for sending me this pen. I do appreciate it. It's an interesting one to try out. I'd never seen the smaller of these models. Guys, I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.